Did you know that studies consistently show home workouts can be just as effective as gym workouts for building muscle and losing fat, as long as the program and equipment make sense? Yet most people quit home workouts for one reason. Not motivation, not discipline. They quit because they either buy way too much random equipment or buy the wrong stuff and then don't know how to use it. So today, I'm breaking down the only home workout equipment you actually need, what to look for before you buy, which pieces are worth your money, and how to use them to build muscle and lose fat without turning your living room into a storage unit. Let's get into it. Let's just clear something up real quick. Training at home isn't a backup plan. It's not what you do when life gets busy, and it's definitely not inferior. Home workouts work because they remove commute time, decision fatigue, gym intimidation, schedule excuses. When your equipment is visible and accessible, consistency goes way up. And consistency, not novelty, is what drives results. But here's the key. Home workouts only work when the equipment supports progressive overload. That means you can make exercises harder over time. You can challenge muscles through full range of motion. You can load movements, not just feel the burn. Muscle growth happens when three things are present: mechanical tension, sufficient volume, and progressive overload. None of those require a gym. Home workouts work because fewer barriers equals higher consistency. Higher consistency equals more total training volume over time, and volume plus progression equals results. The mistake people make is treating home workouts like movement sessions instead of training sessions. Equipment should exist to load movement patterns, manipulate leverage, tempo, and range of motion, and allow progression week to week. So with that lens, let's walk through the essentials. Number one, a yoga mat for stability, bracing, and range of motion. A yoga mat isn't about comfort, always. It's about force transfer. From a training perspective, a mat allows better spinal positioning, more effective bracing, longer time under tension during floor-based lifts. From a physiological and training side, muscles produce more force when joints are stable. If you're sliding, uncomfortable, or cutting reps short, tension drops. And tension is what drives adaptation. Here's what to look for when picking out a yoga mat. Look for 5 to 8 millimeters thick. Non-slip surface long enough for full body positioning. Here's how to use it in a workout. You can use it for core work like dead bugs, hollow holds, or planks. You can use it for floor exercises like presses and glute bridges. And you can use it for mobility between sets to maintain range of motion or for your active recovery days. Here's how to progressively overload with a mat. You can focus on slower eccentrics, longer lever positions, added external load on floor lifts, and increased time under tension. Programming wise, mats support core stability work that improves compound lifts, supplemental volume without joint stress, and recovery that allows harder training later. Number two, resistance bands for variable tension and strength curves. Resistance bands are powerful because they change resistance throughout the movement. As the band stretches, tension increases, which matches many muscle strength curves, keeps tension high at end ranges, and improves joint tolerance and muscle control. Hypertrophy responds well to continuous tension, especially when joints are under less compressive load than free weights. There are two main types you should have. First, there's the mini bands or loop bands. Here's what to look for when picking those out. You want multiple resistance levels. Think thick, durable material that doesn't roll. Here's how to use them in workouts. The obvious one is your glutes. Glute bridges, lateral walks, clamshells. You can also use the lighter ones for core activation and shoulder activation. Mini bands are best for activation, accessories, and improving joint positioning before compound lifts. Progression with mini bands would be using a thicker band, longer sets, slowing the tempo, and adding pauses or holds. For the longer resistance bands, these are ideally with handles. Here's what to look for. Again, you want multiple resistance levels, long enough to stand on or anchor. Handles are optional, but are best for presses and rows. Here's how to use them in workouts. You can use them for squats, hinges, presses, rows, lat pull-down style movements, chest presses when dumbbells aren't available. To progress with long bands, use thicker bands. Step further away from the anchor so that resistance is higher. slower tempos, higher reps with more sets, combining bands with dumbbells. Programming-wise, bands are ideal for accessory work, deload weeks, high volume hypertrophy blocks, or adding intensity without joint stress. They're not replacement for loads, they're multipliers. And number 3, dumbbells for mechanical tension and unilateral strength. Dumbbells are your primary muscle building tool at home. They allow external loading, full joint articulation, independent limb control, stability. From a physiological standpoint, dumbbells create mechanical tension, the primary driver of muscle growth. They also expose asymmetries, which improves long-term strength and injury resilience. Here's what to look for. Adjustable dumbbells if space or budget is limited. Hex-shaped heads so they don't roll. A weight range that challenges you long term. Here's how to use them in workouts. You can use them for anything. Squats, hinges, presses, rows, lunges, unilateral lifts, carries. Here's how to progressively overload with dumbbells. Increase the load, increase the reps, add sets, slower eccentrics, add pauses, progress bilateral and then unilateral. Programming logic would be dumbbells anchor your main lifts. They define intensity and rep ranges. If dumbbells aren't progressing, your program isn't either. Number 4, a bench or elevated surface for range of motion and leverage. Range of motion matters for hypertrophy. Training muscles through longer ranges of motion leads to greater fiber recruitment, more growth at lengthened positions. Here's what to look for. Ideally, stability over adjustability, non-slip feet, and the appropriate height to lie down or row with. Here's how to use them in workouts. Things like Bulgarian split squats, step-ups, pressing variations, hip thrusts, chest-supported rows, chest presses. For progressions, you can increase the depth, increase load, add pauses, increase tempo control. Elevation lets you make light weights heavy, increase intensity without buying more equipment. And number 5, these are optional tools for conditioning capacity and density. Starting with a kettlebell. Ideally, you're choosing a solid cast iron that has comfortable handles for things like swings, goblet squats, and carries. You can progress via reps, load, or density. Pull-up bar. This one deserves special attention. Even if you never do a full pull-up, a bar is incredibly valuable. Just hanging from a bar is a lot harder than you think. It decompresses the spine. It improves overhead shoulder range of motion. It strengthens grip, back, core, and activates the core and upper back. Here's what to look for. You want a stable mount or secure doorway fit that actually fits in your doorway. Enough clearance to hang safely. Here's how to use it in workouts. Passive hangs, active hangs for shoulder engagement, knee tucks, scap pull downs, pull-ups, chin-ups of any variation, negatives, holds. You can also use a band for assisted pull-ups. You can reduce assistance over time. This is one of the most efficient upper body tools you can own. There's also slider or towels. We have a hardwood floor for hamstrings, core work, and anti-rotations. These tool improves training density and work capacity, which indirectly supports fat loss. Here's how this all fits into a program. Equipment exists to serve movement patterns, not random workouts. Your home program should center around compound lifts. Use accessories to support these lifts. Progress at least one variable every 1 to 2 weeks. Progressions can be load, reps, tempo, sets, range of motion, and complexity of movement. If none of those are changing, your body has no reason to adapt, and new equipment isn't going to help it. If you want to see exactly which compound lifts to build your program around and how to pair them with this equipment for real progression, then watch my video on compound lifts next. Then tell me in the comments, which piece of equipment do you train the most with, and how are you currently progressing it week to week? Muscle is built through tension. Fat is lost through consistency, and both come from training with intent, not location.